How you doing? My name's Ryan Newman, and I'm a film student, or was a film student. I graduated from Rowan University, located in Glassboro, New Jersey, this past May, with a bachelor's in radio, TV, and film. And basically, I just got some new photo and film equipment, so I decided to start doing some blogs or slash movie reviews. And I have a few credentials in this area. I used to write movie reviews for the Rowan newspaper, The Wit. I did it for a semester. They were published online and in their actual physical newspaper, so I do have some experience in this. And then since I've graduated, they don't let alumni write for them anymore, so I've basically been just posting on Facebook and Twitter wherever I can. And so I decided to, mess around with my new equipment, start switching it up, changing it up, doing this, and I figured what better movie to start with than Boyhood. It's been getting a lot of Oscar buzz recently, and well deserved, very deservedly so. And this movie just absolutely blew me away. I watched it about 3 to 4 days ago, and I don't think I've ever seen a movie that has resonated or stuck with me so much. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. Also because it was scary how much it related to my actual life. The basic plot, for people that don't know, it's about this kid Mason, played by a newcomer. His name is L.R. Coltrane, and you basically see him grow up. It goes through his childhood all the way up until his college days. And the best part about this movie, and the most interesting part, is it took 12 years to film, which I don't think I've ever heard of any other movie doing this before. It's incredible. You see everyone grow up on screen before your very eyes. Also, another fun fact, there's Mason's sister in the movie, Samantha, is played by the director Richard Linklater's daughter, L'Oreilly. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So you basically see her grow up as well, and the father's played by Ethan Hawke, who's great, from Training Day. And the divorced mother is Patricia Arquette, who just won a Golden Globe for her performance. Richard Linklater won Best Director, and they also won Best Picture for Drama. And I hope that continues into the Oscars next month. I really hope so. The only other movie I think could give a competition is Birdman, which was great also. Definitely pulling for Michael Keaton to win Best Actor for that one, which he's already won a Golden Globe for. So, but yeah, this guy L.R. Coltrane, he's gonna blow up in Hollywood now after this movie. It's just so interesting to me, and strikes at home, like strikes at the heart so much, because basically he's into like photography, film, kind of whatever. He's kind of like the different kid at high school. He wasn't like part of the cool clique or the jocks or whatever, the nerds. He kind of just like went with the flow and did his own thing. I'm a super laid back guy who just go with the flow, do my own thing. So I definitely related to his character and to him. Like certain parts, like he's basically, I looked him up, he's 20 years old, the main character, so he's a little younger than me, 3 years younger, but just certain parts of the movie, like he'd be playing a Game Boy SP at one point. I'm like, oh, I had one of those, that's awesome. Or yet the original Xbox he was playing, and the soundtrack was great too. I'll go through some of them. Some of them were in my childhood. Basically, it started with Lady Gaga, Cobra Starship, Tweety, Arcade Fire. Family of the Year did the song for this movie, Hero, which would win the Oscar for that, but supposedly it wasn't. This song wasn't specifically written for this movie, but it was still great nonetheless. And Atlas Genius, Black Keys, Paul McCartney, Phoenix, Wilco, Sheryl Crow, The Hives, Coldplay, and Blink-182 was a huge part of my childhood. The song Anthem Part 2 is in it. Blink-182 is a great band. And yeah, it's just incredible, this movie, to me. He basically goes through the first father in the movie is very, like, he's a drunk. He's very abusive, and it kind of, like, hit home because a lot of my close friends are have divorced parents, so I felt that real emotion. And he goes, he goes through all the trials and tribulations. He goes through, any other guy's childhood, any other guy's childhood. You know, elementary school, middle school, high school, and he has his first love in high school, his first major breakup. Surprise, surprise, spoiler alert, she leaves him for some jock. Uh, but, yeah, everyone's had their first love, had their first heartache, their first breakup. And when you're watching the movie, you relate your life to it. And, a lot of other movies nowadays are just, like big, cheesy, popcorn superhero movies. And, I actually just read an interesting stat. This was, Christopher Nolan's favorite movie of 2014, and he even put out Interstellar in 2014, so he's even putting it over his own movie. And Interstellar was my favorite movie of 2014, but I didn't see Boyhood till 2015, so I don't know. It's basically a tie with those two, but I would definitely put Boyhood in my top 10 of all time. It was that good, and it's surprising too because I've seen a lot of movies. And the other surprising thing, I was surprised at first, but on IMDb, this movie has 100 Metascore from the critics, which is super rare. I've only ever seen that with The Godfather, so they're in some really, really great company. And yeah, like this movie's going to stand the test of time. It's really, 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 really good. I'm sure I've said that a million times, But yeah, I hope I covered everything in this. Great cast, great director, great soundtrack. Just knocked it out of the park with this one. It was just so cool to see him grow up before your eyes. Like it wasn't a movie; it was an experience. Basically, 12 years in the making, they made cinematic history, and the only negatives I've seen on like YouTube comments and stuff. Oh, it's too long. This kid didn't really have that exciting of a childhood, but to me it was as realistic as a movie could get. It wasn't over the top. It showed the abusive parenting, the first love, first breakup. What does he want to do with his life? Like this scene in the dark room, his teacher, what do you want to do with your life? And he just goes through the flow. He talks about how college isn't like this whole transformative process, which I kind of agree with, because college is, sometimes I'd say it's a ripoff, but yeah, this kid basically go with the flow, laid back kind of kid, just like me. If you know me, I'm probably one of the most laid back guys you'll ever meet. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, and I didn't think it was too long. It's like 2 hours 45 minutes, but I didn't want it to end. I thought it went by really fast. And I thought the ending quote was really cool when they go to the mountaintops where at his new college, his first day. He's sitting there with this girl, and she's basically just like, that quote, seize the day, well, I think the day seizes you. And that basically just means, go with the flow, look at the positives of life, don't overreact to everything. You know what I mean? If you want something, set your heart to it, and he set his heart to photography and film, which is what I hope to do. And but yeah, for my final grade, A. I recommend everyone to go see this, and yeah, in the future I'll try to make these more technically, and just make them more I'll put more edits in and make them more interesting. I'm just kind of winging this. I have a few notes here, but yeah, Boyhood, I figured I'd start with one of the best movies ever as one of my first reviews. Since I can't, I think it's easier to get all my thoughts out on camera than writing them down on Facebook or Twitter. I'll probably forget stuff, but yeah, I know there's a lot of other movie blogs and reviews out there on YouTube, but I'll try to keep them short, sweet, and to the point, and just do the best I can do.